I'm really happy you're here today. Maybe you're listening while drinking your morning coffee. Maybe you're taking a walk. Maybe you're getting ready for the day. Or maybe you're simply relaxing and looking for a calm way to improve your English. Wherever you are, I'm glad you're here. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you know a lot of English words? But when it's time to speak, nothing comes out naturally. Maybe you've studied grammar. Maybe you've memorized vocabulary. Maybe you've watched hundreds of English videos. But when someone asks a simple question like, "How's your day going?" your mind suddenly starts translating. You search for the perfect sentence. You worry about mistakes. And by the time you're ready to answer, the conversation has already moved on. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. The truth is, most English learners don't need more complicated grammar. They don't need bigger vocabulary lists. What they need is more experience with natural English. The kind of English people actually use every day. The good news is that you don't need to speak fast. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need to become comfortable with useful phrases, natural responses, and everyday conversation patterns. And that's exactly what we're going to practice together today. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to respond more naturally in everyday situations. And you'll start noticing something interesting. You'll begin thinking less about English and simply using it. If you enjoy this relaxed way of learning, make sure you're subscribed to Relaxing English Listening so you never miss a lesson. Now, take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders. Forget about being perfect. Let's simply enjoy English together. Imagine you wake up on a Saturday morning. The sunlight is coming through the window. You don't have work today. No meetings. No deadlines. No rush. You check the time. It's a little later than you expected. You stretch. You yawn. And the first thought that enters your mind is simple. I could use some coffee. This is one of the most common expressions you'll hear from native speakers. Repeat after me slowly. I could use some coffee. Excellent. Again. I could use some coffee. Very good. Now say it a little more naturally. I could use some coffee. Wonderful. Notice how native speakers don't usually say, I would like to consume coffee. Of course not. They say, I could use some coffee. Simple. Natural. Real. And that's exactly the kind of English we're focusing on today. You get dressed and decide to walk to a small bakery a few blocks away. The weather is pleasant. People are walking their dogs. Someone is jogging down the street. A couple is sitting outside a cafe. The neighborhood feels alive, but not busy. The energy is calm. As you approach the bakery, you smell fresh bread, warm cinnamon, coffee, maybe a little vanilla. The door opens. A small bell rings overhead. Immediately, you hear soft conversations. A coffee machine hisses in the background. A few people are reading newspapers. Others are chatting with friends. You step into line. The person behind the counter smiles and says, Morning. Just one word. Morning. Repeat after me. Morning. Excellent. Again. Morning. Very good. Many learners expect native speakers to always say, Good morning. But in everyday life, you'll hear this much more often. Morning. Short. Friendly. Natural. The employee smiles again. How's it going? Now this is a phrase you'll hear everywhere. At coffee shops. At work. At the gym. At the grocery store. How's it going? Repeat after me. How's it going? Excellent. Again. How's it going? Wonderful. Most learners think they need a long answer. They don't. A native speaker might simply say, "Pretty good." Repeat after me. Pretty good. Excellent. Not bad. Repeat after me. Not bad. Very good. Or maybe, doing well. Repeat after me. Doing well. Excellent. These short responses are incredibly common. Most learners sound too formal here. A textbook answer might be, "I am doing very well today. Thank you." Correct. Yes. Natural. Not really. Here's a more natural response. Pretty good. How about you? Repeat after me. Pretty good. How about you? Excellent. Now say it again, more naturally. Pretty good. How about you? Wonderful! Can you feel the rhythm? That's what native speakers use every day. The conversation continues. The employee asks, "What can I get for you?" This next phrase is extremely common. Repeat after me. What can I get for you? Excellent. Now imagine you're ordering. Basic. Coffee. Please. Natural. Can I get a medium coffee? Repeat after me. Can I get a medium coffee? Excellent. Advanced. Can I get a medium coffee and one of those blueberry muffins? Repeat after me. Can I get a medium coffee and one of those blueberry muffins? Wonderful. Notice how natives shorten things. Not. I would like to order. Not. May I please purchase? Just. Can I get? You'll hear this every day. Can I get a coffee? Can I get some water? Can I get another one? Can I get a receipt? This pattern is everywhere. The employee nods. Anything else? Repeat after me. Anything else? Excellent. You smile. That's it. Repeat after me. That's it. Excellent. Simple. Natural. Useful. Now let's make it more conversational. The employee hands you the coffee. You take a sip. It's exactly what you needed. Without even thinking, you say, "Oh, that's good." Repeat after me. That's good. Excellent. Now say it with emotion. That's good. Wonderful. Native speakers constantly react to small experiences. That's good. That's nice. That's perfect. That's exactly what I needed. Repeat after me. That's exactly what I needed. Excellent. Again. That's exactly what I needed. Very good. This is something you'll hear every day. Not because it's advanced English. Because it's human English. And that's a very important difference. Many learners spend years chasing advanced English. But they forget to master everyday English. The truth is, fluency lives in simple phrases. Not complicated words. Let's take this one step deeper. You find a seat near the window. You look outside. People continue walking by. A man is carrying a box of pastries. Someone is laughing on the phone. A dog stops suddenly because it doesn't want to continue its walk. You smile. The morning feels peaceful. Then your phone vibrates. A message appears. It's from an old friend. Someone you haven't seen in a while. The message says, "Hey, are you free today?" Interesting. Immediately, your curiosity wakes up. You weren't expecting that. This tiny moment creates something important. A question. Why are they texting? What do they want? And curiosity is one of the easiest ways to stay engaged in a conversation. Native speakers love these little moments. You type back. "Yeah. I think so. What's up?" Repeat after me. What's up? Excellent. Again. What's up? Very good. This phrase is extremely common. It can mean, what's happening? What's going on? What do you need? What's new? Simple. Natural. Useful. Now it's your turn. Think about your own morning. Maybe you're drinking coffee. Maybe you're listening while walking. Maybe you're still in bed. Describe your morning with one simple sentence. Not a perfect sentence. Just a real sentence. Maybe, I'm still waking up. Or, I could use some coffee. Or, it's a nice morning. Take a moment. Say it quietly. Excellent. Every small sentence you repeat is training your brain to think in English. Not translate. Think. And something interesting starts happening when you do this consistently. English begins to feel less like a school subject and more like a language you actually use. As you finish your coffee, another message appears from your friend. This time, it's longer. And it sounds like they have an unexpected plan for the day. Something that might completely change your quiet Saturday morning. And that's where our next conversation begins. You look down at your phone again. The message from your friend is still on the screen. A few seconds later, another message arrives. Actually, a group of us are heading to the weekend market downtown. You should come. You smile. This Saturday morning was supposed to be simple. Coffee. A quiet bakery. Maybe a walk around the neighborhood. Now, suddenly, the day feels different. More open. More interesting. Sometimes, that's exactly how the best days begin. Not with a plan, but with an unexpected invitation. You finish the last sip of your coffee and glance around the bakery one more time. The smell of fresh bread still fills the air. People continue chatting quietly. Someone laughs near the counter. A young couple is sharing a pastry by the window. Everything feels comfortable. But something else is happening. Your curiosity is growing. Maybe you should go. Maybe it would be fun. Maybe you'll meet someone new. And that's another phrase native speakers use all the time. Maybe. Repeat after me. Maybe. Excellent. Again. Maybe. Very good. Notice how often native speakers use this word. Maybe we should go. Maybe later. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'll try that. It's a small word. But it's everywhere. You type a quick response. Sure. What time? Repeat after me. Sure. What time? Excellent. Simple. Natural. Real. A few moments later, your friend replies, We're meeting at 11. Perfect. You still have some time. As you leave the bakery, the neighborhood feels a little more awake than before. More people are outside now. More cars. More conversations. The city is slowly building energy. About an hour later, you arrive downtown. Immediately, the atmosphere changes. The weekend market is busy. Colorful tents line both sides of the street. Local artists display paintings. Musicians play near the corner. Someone is selling handmade candles. Another person is offering free samples of fresh fruit. Children run past, laughing. The energy is completely different from the quiet bakery. And this creates an important learning opportunity. Different environments create different kinds of English. The language people use at a busy market feels different from the language people use in a quiet coffee shop. You scan the crowd. Then you spot your friend. They're standing near a food stand, talking to two other people. As you approach, your friend waves. Hey, you made it. Repeat after me. You made it. Excellent. Again. You made it. Wonderful. Native speakers say this all the time. You made it. Meaning, you arrived. You got here. Everything worked out. Let's practice. Glad you made it. You finally made it. We made it. Excellent. You smile. Your friend introduces you to the others. One of them says, Nice to finally meet you. Repeat after me. Nice to finally meet you. Excellent. Again. Nice to finally meet you. Very good. This is something you'll hear often when people have heard about you before, but never met you in person. Now imagine your response. You could say, Nice to meet you too. Repeat after me. Nice to meet you too. Excellent. Simple. Friendly. Natural. The conversation continues. One of the new people asks, So, how's everything going? This next phrase is extremely common. Repeat after me. How's everything going? Excellent. Notice how similar it is to How's it going? But slightly broader. Native speakers use both all the time. Now let's build some answers. Basic. Good. Natural. Pretty good. Advanced. Pretty good. Things have been busy lately. But I can't complain. Repeat after me. I can't complain. Excellent. Again. I can't complain. Wonderful. This is one of the most common native expressions. It doesn't mean life is perfect. It simply means things are okay. Let's practice. How's work? I can't complain. How's life? I can't complain. How's everything? Pretty good. Can't complain. Excellent. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Many learners sound too formal here. A textbook answer might be, Everything is satisfactory. Native speakers almost never say that. They say, Can't complain. Simple. Human. Real. As you continue walking through the market together, another person joins the conversation. They ask, Been busy lately? Notice something. They didn't say, Have you been busy lately? They shortened it. Native speakers shorten questions constantly. Repeat after me. Been busy lately. Excellent. Again. Been busy lately. Very good. Here's a natural response. Yeah. Pretty much. Repeat after me. Pretty much. Excellent. Again. Pretty much. Wonderful. This phrase is everywhere. Pretty much means mostly yes. Almost completely. More or less. Let's practice. Been busy lately. Yeah. Pretty much. Are you finished? Pretty much. Do you agree? Pretty much. Excellent. Native speakers love short responses. And the more comfortable you become with them, the more natural your English starts to sound. As you walk through the market, your group stops at a stand selling handmade chocolates. One person immediately says, Okay. I need to try this. Repeat after me. I need to try this. Excellent. Again. I need to try this. Very natural. Notice how spontaneous it sounds. Native speakers often react in real time. That looks amazing. I need to try this. That smells incredible. I need one of those. Let's practice. I need to try this. I need one of those. I need some coffee. Excellent. Simple emotional reactions make English sound alive. Now one of your new acquaintances takes a bite of chocolate. Their eyes widen. Immediately, they say, Wow. That's really good. Repeat after me. That's really good. Excellent. Now say it with surprise. That's really good. Wonderful. Emotion matters. The same words sound completely different depending on how you say them. And that's something many learners forget. Speaking naturally isn't only about vocabulary. It's also about rhythm, tone, emotion. Let's take this one step deeper. As your group continues walking, the conversation becomes faster, more relaxed, more natural. Someone asks, "So what do you usually do on weekends?" This is a very common small talk question. Repeat after me. What do you usually do on weekends? Excellent. Now, let's create 3 levels of answers. Basic. I relax. Natural. I usually relax and spend time with friends. Advanced. I usually try to get outside, explore new places, and spend time with people I don't see during the week. Repeat after me. I usually relax and spend time with friends. Excellent. Now the advanced version. I usually try to get outside, explore new places, and spend time with people I don't see during the week. Wonderful. Notice how easy it becomes to expand your answers once you know the pattern. Native speakers don't necessarily use more difficult words. They simply add details. Details create natural conversation. As the group moves toward another section of the market, a musician begins playing nearby. The atmosphere changes again. People gather around. Some stop walking. Others begin recording videos. The energy becomes more social. One of your new friends turns toward you and says, "This place is great." Repeat after me. This place is great. Excellent. You agree. Yeah. I wasn't expecting this. Repeat after me. I wasn't expecting this. Excellent. Again. I wasn't expecting this. Wonderful. This phrase is incredibly useful. Let's practice. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting so many people. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Excellent. Native speakers use this constantly when something pleasantly surprises them. Now pause for a moment. Think about how much English you've already practiced. You made it. Nice to meet you. How's everything going? I can't complain. Been busy lately. Pretty much. I need to try this. I wasn't expecting this. These aren't difficult phrases. They're everyday phrases. The kind you'll actually hear. The kind you'll actually use. And every time you repeat them, your brain becomes a little more comfortable with natural English. Now it's your turn. Imagine you're walking through a busy market with friends. Someone asks, "How's everything going?" How would you answer? Take a moment. Maybe. Pretty good. Maybe. Can't complain. Maybe. Things have been busy lately. Excellent. Every small sentence you create is training your brain to think directly in English. Not translate. Think. As the conversation continues, one of the people in your group suddenly mentions a community workshop happening just a few blocks away. Apparently, anyone can join. No experience required. No registration needed. And judging by everyone's reaction, it sounds like something much more interesting than anyone expected. Without realizing it, your quiet Saturday is about to become even more unpredictable. And that's where the next conversation begins. The group continues walking through the market. The music fades into the background as you move farther down the street. The crowd becomes a little thinner. The conversations around you change. Instead of people shopping and browsing, you start seeing signs for local events. Art classes, photography groups, cooking demonstrations, small community gatherings. The atmosphere feels different here. A little quieter. A little more focused. One of the people in your group suddenly points across the street. Oh, there it is. Everyone looks. A large sign hangs above a brick building. Weekend Creative Workshop. Open to everyone. Your friend smiles. This is what I was telling you about. You weren't expecting this. Honestly, you thought the day would end with a coffee and a walk through the market. Instead, you're standing outside a workshop, surrounded by people you've only met an hour ago. And somehow, it feels completely natural. One of the group members turns toward you. You should come in. Repeat after me. You should come in. Excellent. Again. You should come in. Very good. This is one of the most common suggestion patterns in English. Let's practice. You should try it. You should come with us. You should check it out. Excellent. Native speakers use this constantly. Not because they're giving orders. Because they're making friendly suggestions. You hesitate for a second. Not because you don't want to go. Because you're not sure what to expect. And that's another phrase you'll hear all the time. I'm not sure what to expect. Repeat after me. I'm not sure what to expect. Excellent. Again. I'm not sure what to expect. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common whenever you're trying something new. A new job. A new city. A new class. A new experience. Native speakers use it constantly. Your friend laughs. Neither are we. Repeat after me. Neither are we. Excellent. Simple. Natural. Human. You walk inside. Immediately. The environment changes again. The market noise disappears behind the door. Inside. The room feels calm. Large wooden tables fill the space. Paintings hang on the walls. People are chatting quietly. Some are arranging supplies. Others are introducing themselves. The atmosphere feels welcoming. Not formal. Not intimidating. Just friendly. A woman standing near the entrance smiles. Welcome. Repeat after me. Welcome. Excellent. She continues. Have you been here before? This next question is extremely common. Repeat after me. Have you been here before? Excellent. You'll hear this phrase everywhere. Restaurants. Cities. Events. Gyms. Classes. Now let's build some responses. Basic. No. Natural. No. This is my first time. Repeat after me. This is my first time. Excellent. Advanced. No. This is my first time. But I've always wanted to try something like this. Repeat after me. I've always wanted to try something like this. Wonderful. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Native speakers often add a reason. A feeling. A little context. That's what makes conversations feel real. The woman smiles. That's great. Then she asks another very common question. So, what brings you here today? Repeat after me. What brings you here today? Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere in English. Let's practice. What brings you here? What brings you to town? What brings you to this event? Excellent. Native speakers use this when they want to understand someone's reason for being somewhere. Now, think about your answer. You could say, honestly, my friends invited me. Repeat after me. My friends invited me. Excellent. Or, I was curious. Repeat after me. I was curious. Excellent. Curious is a fantastic word. Native speakers use it all the time. Let's practice. I was curious. I'm curious about that. I've always been curious. Excellent. Notice how natural that feels. Now let's take this one step deeper. The workshop leader gathers everyone together. There are about 20 people in the room. Some look excited. Some look nervous. Some seem very confident. Others are clearly beginners. And that's comforting. Because you're not the only person trying something new. The instructor smiles and says, "Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves." Immediately, many English learners become nervous. Introducing yourself feels simple. But sometimes, it feels harder than expected. The good news: native speakers usually keep introductions short. Much shorter than most learners think. Let's listen. The first person says, "Hi. I'm Rachel. Nice to meet everyone." Simple. Repeat after me. Nice to meet everyone. Excellent. The next person says, "I'm Jake. I'm excited to be here." Repeat after me. I'm excited to be here. Excellent. Notice something. Nobody is giving a speech. Nobody is telling their life story. They're keeping it simple. Natural. Comfortable. Now it's your turn. Imagine you're standing in that room. The group is listening. You smile and say, "Hi. I'm Alex. It's nice to meet everyone." Repeat after me. It's nice to meet everyone. Excellent. Now add a little more. "Hi. I'm Alex. It's nice to meet everyone. This is my first time here." Repeat after me. This is my first time here. Wonderful. And now let's make it even more natural. "Hi. I'm Alex. It's nice to meet everyone. This is my first time here. And I'm excited to try something new." Repeat after me. I'm excited to try something new. Excellent. This is exactly how native speakers often introduce themselves. Simple. Friendly. Honest. Now the introductions continue. As you listen, something interesting happens. You begin understanding people without translating. Not every word. Not every sentence. But enough. And that's a breakthrough moment many learners experience. The moment when English starts feeling like communication instead of a puzzle. You don't need perfection. You just need enough understanding to stay connected. The instructor then divides everyone into smaller groups. Now you're standing with 3 people you've never met before. One of them smiles and says, "So, what do you do?" This next question is extremely common. Repeat after me. What do you do? Excellent. Native speakers use this as a shortcut. It usually means, "What is your job?" Now let's build responses. Basic. I'm a teacher. Natural. I work as a teacher. Repeat after me. I work as a teacher. Excellent. Advanced. I work as a teacher. And I really enjoy helping people learn. Repeat after me. I really enjoy helping people learn. Wonderful. Notice the difference. The advanced answer isn't more difficult. It simply includes a feeling. Native speakers often talk about feelings, not just facts. Now another person asks, "How long have you been doing that?" Repeat after me. How long have you been doing that? Excellent. This question appears everywhere. Jobs, hobbies, sports, languages. Let's practice. How long have you lived here? How long have you worked there? How long have you been learning English? Excellent. Now imagine. Someone asks you, "How long have you been learning English?" Think about your answer. Maybe. A few years. Maybe. Since high school. Maybe. For a long time. Whatever your answer is, it's part of your story. And stories create connection. That's why conversations matter. They're not just language practice. They're opportunities to connect. The workshop begins. People laugh, ask questions, share ideas. The room becomes more energetic. The nervousness disappears. And suddenly, talking to strangers doesn't feel so difficult anymore. Because everyone is focused on the same thing: learning, trying, experiencing something new. Now it's your turn. Imagine you're standing in that workshop. Someone asks, "What brings you here today?" Answer quietly in your mind. Maybe, "I was curious." Maybe, "My friends invited me." Maybe, "I've always wanted to try something new." Excellent. Every sentence you create is helping your brain build confidence. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. Little by little. English starts becoming something you use instead of something you study. As the workshop continues, you find yourself talking more than you expected, laughing more than you expected, and enjoying the experience far more than you expected. Then, during a short break, one of the people you've just met says something surprising. A simple invitation. An invitation that will lead to an entirely different conversation. New personalities. Unexpected stories. And some of the most useful social English you'll hear in everyday life. And that's where the next chapter of this Saturday begins. The workshop break begins. People slowly stand up from their tables. Some head toward the coffee station in the corner. Others continue talking about the activity. The room feels different now. When you first arrived, everyone was a stranger. Now the atmosphere feels more familiar, more relaxed, more comfortable. You've already shared a few conversations, a few laughs, a few introductions, and something important has happened. The awkwardness is gone. One of the people from your small group walks over. Her name is Emma. She's friendly, easy to talk to, and seems to know everyone. She smiles and says, "A few of us are grabbing lunch after this. You should join us." Repeat after me. You should join us. Excellent. Again. You should join us. Very good. This is one of the most common social invitations in English. Let's practice. You should come with us. You should join us. You should stop by later. Excellent. Notice how casual it sounds. Native speakers often invite people this way. Friendly. Relaxed. No pressure. You smile. Honestly, it sounds like a good idea. After all, you've already spent the morning trying new things. Why stop now? You answer, "Sure. I'd love to." Repeat after me. I'd love to. Excellent. Again. I'd love to. Wonderful. This is one of the most natural ways to accept an invitation. Let's practice. I'd love to. I'd love to come. I'd love to join you. Excellent. Much more natural than simply saying yes. Now the workshop finishes. People gather their belongings. The instructor thanks everyone for coming. A few people exchange phone numbers. Others take photos together. The energy in the room feels positive. You leave the building with a small group of 6 people. Some of them know each other well. Others, like you, met only a few hours ago. And that's exactly what makes this situation useful for English learners. This is real social English. The kind that happens when people are getting to know each other. Not formal English. Not classroom English. Real English. The group walks a few blocks and arrives at a small outdoor restaurant. String lights hang overhead. Tables sit beneath large umbrellas. People are eating, talking, and enjoying the beautiful afternoon. The atmosphere feels relaxed. Everyone sits down. Menus are handed around the table. For a moment, there's a brief silence as people decide what to order. Then someone looks up and asks, "So, what are you thinking?" Repeat after me. What are you thinking? Excellent. This question appears constantly in everyday conversations. Let's practice. What are you thinking? What do you think? What sounds good? Excellent. Native speakers use these questions when discussing options. Food, movies, travel plans, almost anything. You glance at the menu. Everything looks good. A natural response might be, "I'm not sure yet." Repeat after me. I'm not sure yet. Excellent. Again. I'm not sure yet. Wonderful. This is one of the most useful phrases in English. Let's practice. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet. I'm still thinking. Excellent. Native speakers use these responses constantly. Now Emma laughs. Honestly, everything looks good. Repeat after me. Everything looks good. Excellent. A simple sentence, but incredibly common. Let's practice. That looks good. This looks good. Everything looks good. Excellent. Notice how much English depends on simple observations. Now the server approaches the table. Smiling, they ask, "Are you ready to order?" Repeat after me. Are you ready to order? Excellent. Everyone looks at each other. One person immediately says, "I think so." Repeat after me. I think so. Excellent. Again. I think so. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. Do you understand? I think so. Are you ready? I think so. Is that the right answer? I think so. Excellent. Now everyone begins ordering. You notice how simple the language is. Nobody is using advanced vocabulary. Nobody is speaking in perfect sentences. They're simply communicating. One person says, "I'll have the chicken sandwich." Repeat after me. I'll have the chicken sandwich. Excellent. This is extremely common. Let's practice. I'll have the salad. I'll have the soup. I'll have the same thing. Excellent. Now here's another useful phrase. One person points to their friend and says, "I'll have what she's having." Repeat after me. I'll have what she's having. Excellent. Very natural. Very common. Now the server leaves. The menus disappear. And something interesting happens. The real conversation begins. Without menus. Without distractions. Just people talking. Emma looks across the table and says, "So, tell us a little about yourself." Repeat after me. Tell us a little about yourself. Excellent. Many learners get nervous when they hear this. But native speakers usually don't expect a long answer. They simply want a starting point. You smile. Then say, "Well, I work in marketing, and I spend most of my weekdays at a computer." Repeat after me. I spend most of my weekdays at a computer. Excellent. Now continue. But on weekends, I try to get outside more. Repeat after me. I try to get outside more. Wonderful. Notice something. Your answer isn't complicated. It's personal. And that's what keeps conversations moving. Now another person at the table smiles. That sounds familiar. Repeat after me. That sounds familiar. Excellent. Again. That sounds familiar. Very good. Native speakers use this when they relate to something. Let's practice. That sounds familiar. I know what you mean. I can relate to that. Excellent. These phrases build connection. And connection is what good conversation is all about. Now another person asks, what do you usually do for fun? Repeat after me. What do you usually do for fun? Excellent. A very common social question. Let's build some answers. I like reading. I enjoy hiking. I spend time with friends. I try new restaurants. Excellent. Notice how simple these answers are. The goal isn't to impress people. The goal is to share something real. Now let's take this one step deeper. Someone at the table says, I've been trying to learn photography lately. Immediately, another person responds, Really? How's that going? Repeat after me. How's that going? Excellent. This question appears everywhere. How's work going? How's your project going? How's your English going? Excellent. Now, imagine the answer. It's going pretty well. Repeat after me. It's going pretty well. Excellent. Again. It's going pretty well. Wonderful. Simple. Positive. Natural. Now, let's do a short shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. I've been trying to learn photography lately. I'm still a beginner. But I'm really enjoying it. It's challenging sometimes. But it's also a lot of fun. Now repeat after me. I've been trying to learn photography lately. I'm still a beginner. But I'm really enjoying it. It's challenging sometimes. But it's also a lot of fun. Excellent. Again. A little more naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear the rhythm? This is exactly how native speakers talk about hobbies and interests. Now the food arrives. Immediately. The energy changes. People react. Smile. Comment. Take photos. One person looks at their plate and says, Wow. That looks amazing. Repeat after me. That looks amazing. Excellent. Another person says, I can't wait to try this. Repeat after me. I can't wait to try this. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Let's practice. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to try it. Excellent. Now everyone starts eating. The conversation becomes lighter. Fun stories begin appearing. Funny experiences. Embarrassing moments. Travel stories. Childhood memories. The group starts laughing more. And that's when someone suddenly tells a story so surprising that everyone at the table stops eating for a moment. They begin with one of the most powerful storytelling phrases in English. You're not going to believe this. Immediately. Everyone's attention shifts. Curiosity appears. Questions form. And without realizing it, lunch is about to become much more interesting than anyone expected. That's where the next conversation begins. Everyone around the table looks up. The conversation stops for a moment. Even the people who were focused on their food suddenly pay attention. Because one phrase has a special power in English. You're not going to believe this. Repeat after me. You're not going to believe this. Excellent. Again. You're not going to believe this. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase whenever they're about to tell an interesting story. It's a curiosity trigger. The moment people hear it, they immediately want to know more. What happened? Why won't I believe it? What comes next? And curiosity is one of the strongest forces in conversation. The person telling the story smiles, then takes a sip of water. Everyone waits. A few people laugh. Someone says, "Come on. Tell us." Repeat after me. Come on. Tell us. Excellent. Again. Come on. Tell us. Very good. This is a natural conversational reaction. When people are curious, they encourage the storyteller to continue. Finally, the storyteller begins. So, last month, I went on a first date. Immediately, a few people smile. Someone says, "Okay. This already sounds interesting." Everyone laughs. The storyteller continues. Everything was going great. Repeat after me. Everything was going great. Excellent. Again. Everything was going great. Wonderful. This is a very common storytelling phrase. Let's practice. Everything was going well. Everything was going great. Everything seemed perfect. Excellent. These phrases create a feeling that something good is happening. And when something good happens in a story, listeners often expect a problem to appear. That's exactly what keeps attention high. The storyteller continues. We had dinner. We talked for hours. We were having a great time. Repeat after me. We were having a great time. Excellent. Again. We were having a great time. Wonderful. This phrase appears constantly in English. Let's practice. We're having a great time. I had a great time. Looks like they're having a great time. Excellent. Then the storyteller pauses dramatically. Everyone leans in. And then comes the problem. When the bill arrived, I realized I had left my wallet at home. Instantly, the entire table reacts. No way. Repeat after me. No way. Excellent. Again. No way. Wonderful. This is one of the most common reactions in spoken English. No way. Really? You're kidding. Seriously. Let's practice. Seriously. You're kidding. No way. Excellent. These reactions make conversations feel alive. Now the storyteller laughs. I wish I were kidding. Repeat after me. I wish I were kidding. Excellent. This is a very natural phrase. It means, unfortunately, it's true. Let's practice. I wish I were kidding. I wish that wasn't true. I wish I was joking. Excellent. The story continues. For a moment, the storyteller thought everything was ruined. Repeat after me. I thought everything was ruined. Excellent. Notice how simple that sentence is. Storytelling in English is often much simpler than learners expect. The power comes from emotions, not difficult vocabulary. Now imagine the scene. You're sitting in a restaurant. You're on a first date. Everything is going well. Then suddenly, you realize your wallet is at home. Most people would panic. And that's another useful word. Panic. Repeat after me. Panic. Excellent. I started to panic. Repeat after me. I started to panic. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. I started to panic. Don't panic. Everybody panicked. Excellent. Now the storyteller continues. I didn't know what to do. Repeat after me. I didn't know what to do. Excellent. Again. I didn't know what to do. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Let's practice. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. Excellent. The group listens carefully. Everyone can imagine the situation. That's one reason stories are so powerful. Stories create mental pictures. And mental pictures help language stick. Now the storyteller smiles. But then something unexpected happened. Repeat after me. Something unexpected happened. Excellent. Again. Something unexpected happened. Wonderful. Immediately. Curiosity returns. What happened? The group waits. Then the storyteller says, "The waitress recognized me." Everyone looks confused. The storyteller continues. "It turns out she went to high school with my sister." Repeat after me. It turns out. Excellent. Again. It turns out. Wonderful. This phrase is incredibly common. Let's practice. It turns out I was wrong. It turns out everything was okay. It turns out we had mutual friends. Excellent. Native speakers use this constantly when revealing new information. Now the story becomes even funnier. The waitress laughed. The storyteller laughed. The date laughed. And suddenly, the embarrassing moment wasn't embarrassing anymore. The storyteller says, "It all worked out." Repeat after me. It all worked out. Excellent. Again. It all worked out. Wonderful. You've heard this phrase before. That's intentional. Real English repeats useful patterns. Let's practice. Everything worked out. It worked out fine. Things usually work out. Excellent. The entire table laughs. One person says, "That could have been so much worse." Repeat after me. That could have been so much worse. Excellent. This is a very natural response. Let's practice. That could have been worse. Things could have gone badly. You got lucky. Excellent. Now another person jumps into the conversation. And this is something that happens constantly in real life. One story reminds people of another story. The second person smiles and says, "That reminds me of something." Repeat after me. That reminds me of something. Excellent. Again. That reminds me of something. Wonderful. This phrase appears constantly in conversations. Let's practice. That reminds me. That reminds me of my friend. That reminds me of a story. Excellent. Now the second person begins their own story. A few years ago, I accidentally got on the wrong train. Immediately. Everyone laughs again. Because many people have done something similar. The person continues. I didn't realize it until 2 hours later. Repeat after me. I didn't realize it until. Excellent. This is a very useful pattern. Let's practice. I didn't realize it until later. I didn't realize it until I got home. I didn't realize it until someone told me. Excellent. The stories continue. One after another. Funny mistakes. Embarrassing moments. Unexpected situations. And every story follows a similar structure. Something normal happens. A problem appears. Emotion increases. A solution arrives. Everything works out. That's the basic formula of storytelling. And it's one of the easiest ways to hold someone's attention. Now, let's do some shadowing practice. Listen carefully. Last year, I accidentally got on the wrong train. At first, I thought everything was fine. Then I looked at the station signs and realized I was heading in the wrong direction. I started to panic. But luckily, everything worked out in the end. Now, repeat after me. Last year, I accidentally got on the wrong train. At first, I thought everything was fine. Then I looked at the station signs and realized I was heading in the wrong direction. I started to panic. But luckily, everything worked out in the end. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear the rhythm? This is how native speakers tell stories. Not with complicated words. With simple events. Simple emotions. Simple connections. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about all the useful phrases you've practiced during lunch. You're not going to believe this. We were having a great time. No way. I wish I were kidding. I started to panic. I didn't know what to do. It turns out, it all worked out. That reminds me of something. These aren't academic phrases. They're real-life phrases. The kind people use every day. And every time you hear them in different situations, they become easier to remember. Now it's your turn. Think about a funny mistake you've made. Maybe you forgot something important. Maybe you went to the wrong place. Maybe you misunderstood someone. Try creating one simple sentence in English. Maybe, I accidentally forgot my phone. Or, I got on the wrong bus. Or, I didn't realize my mistake until later. Excellent. Every story you tell helps build fluency. Because fluency isn't just vocabulary. It's the ability to share experiences, to connect with people, to laugh together, to communicate. As lunch continues, the stories become even more relaxed. The group feels closer now. People who were strangers a few hours ago are talking like friends. And just when everyone thinks the afternoon will continue quietly, a small misunderstanding with the restaurant staff creates a funny situation of its own. A situation that will teach some of the most useful English phrases for handling mistakes politely and naturally. And that's where the next conversation begins. Lunch continues. The table is filled with conversation. People are still laughing about the stories they just shared. The atmosphere feels completely different from when everyone first met. Only a few hours ago, most of these people were strangers. Now the conversation flows naturally. Nobody is forcing it. Nobody is searching for topics. The discussion moves effortlessly from one story to another. And that's one of the best things about good conversations. Once people feel comfortable, everything becomes easier. The food arrives. Plates are placed around the table. The smell is amazing. Everyone immediately starts reacting. That looks incredible. Wow. That smells good. I've been looking forward to this. Repeat after me. I've been looking forward to this. Excellent. Again. I've been looking forward to this. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it whenever they're excited about something. Let's practice. I've been looking forward to the weekend. I've been looking forward to this trip. I've been looking forward to seeing everyone. Excellent. Now everyone begins eating. For a few minutes, the conversation slows down. People are focused on their food. Someone compliments the restaurant. Another person asks about the workshop. A third person shares a recommendation for a nearby coffee shop. Everything feels relaxed. Then something unexpected happens. A server approaches your table. They're carrying another meal. A large plate of pasta. The server places it directly in front of you. You immediately look down. Then look up. Then look down again. There's only one problem. You didn't order pasta. For a moment, you're confused. The server smiles and says, "Enjoy your meal." Then starts walking away. You glance around the table. Everyone notices your expression. Emma laughs. "That's not yours." "Is it?" You shake your head. "No. I don't think so." Repeat after me. I don't think so. Excellent. Again. I don't think so. Very good. This is one of the most common phrases in English. Let's practice. Is this yours? I don't think so. Are we late? I don't think so. Did you order that? I don't think so. Excellent. Simple. Natural. Useful. Now the server is already halfway across the restaurant. You quickly raise your hand. Excuse me. Repeat after me. Excuse me. Excellent. Again. Excuse me. Wonderful. This is one of the most important phrases in English. You use it to get someone's attention politely. Let's practice. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can I ask you something? Excuse me. I think there's a mistake. Excellent. The server returns, smiling politely. Yes. Now this is where many English learners become nervous. When something goes wrong, they worry about sounding rude. But native speakers usually handle mistakes very calmly. The secret is simple. Be polite. Be clear. Stay relaxed. You smile and say, actually, I think there's been a mistake. Repeat after me. I think there's been a mistake. Excellent. Again. I think there's been a mistake. Wonderful. This phrase is incredibly useful. Let's practice. I think there's been a mistake. I think something's wrong. I think there might be a problem. Excellent. Notice how soft these phrases sound. Native speakers rarely say, you made a mistake. Instead, they say, I think there's been a mistake. Much more polite. Now the server looks surprised. Oh. I'm sorry about that. Repeat after me. I'm sorry about that. Excellent. Very common. Very natural. The server picks up the plate and checks a small notebook. Then suddenly laughs. Oh. This belongs to table 12. Repeat after me. This belongs to table 12. Excellent. The misunderstanding is solved immediately. Nobody is upset. Nobody is angry. And that's another important lesson. Many small problems in daily life are not really problems. They're simply misunderstandings. The server smiles again. Thanks for letting me know. Repeat after me. Thanks for letting me know. Excellent. Again. Thanks for letting me know. Wonderful. This phrase appears everywhere. Let's practice. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for telling me. I appreciate you telling me. Excellent. Native speakers use these phrases constantly. Now the server leaves. The entire table laughs. Emma shakes her head. For a second, I thought you were getting free food. Everyone laughs again. You respond. Honestly, I was a little confused. Repeat after me. I was a little confused. Excellent. Again. I was a little confused. Wonderful. Confused is a useful everyday word. Let's practice. I'm confused. That confused me. I was a little confused. Excellent. Now one of the others joins in. You should have accepted it. Everyone laughs. You answer. I don't think that would have ended well. Repeat after me. I don't think that would have ended well. Excellent. This is a very natural conversational response. Native speakers often imagine alternative outcomes. Let's practice. That probably wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have ended well. That could have been awkward. Excellent. Notice the word awkward. Repeat after me. Awkward. Very good. Native speakers use awkward constantly. An awkward silence. An awkward situation. That was awkward. Excellent. Now, let's take this one step further. The misunderstanding reminds another person of a story. And just like before, one conversation leads naturally into another. He laughs and says, "That actually happened to me once." Repeat after me. That actually happened to me once. Excellent. Again. That happened to me once. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Let's practice. That happened to me. I've done that before. Something similar happened to me. Excellent. Now he begins telling a story. A few years ago, he accidentally sat at the wrong table in a restaurant. Everyone immediately starts laughing. Because it's easy to imagine. The story gets funnier. Apparently, he sat down, started talking, and didn't realize his mistake for almost 5 minutes. Repeat after me. I didn't realize my mistake. Excellent. Again. I didn't realize it. Wonderful. Native speakers use realize constantly. Let's practice. I realized I was wrong. I didn't realize that. That's when I realized. Excellent. The story continues. Eventually, someone said, "Excuse me. Can we help you?" And that's when he understood. He was sitting with complete strangers. The entire table bursts into laughter. He laughs too. Looking back, it's funny. At the time, it was embarrassing. Repeat after me. Looking back, it's funny. Excellent. This is a beautiful conversational phrase. Let's practice. Looking back, it wasn't a big deal. Looking back, it was funny. Looking back, I'm glad it happened. Excellent. Native speakers often reflect this way. Looking back, it's a very natural storytelling pattern. Now let's do a shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. Actually, I think there's been a mistake. I didn't order this. Oh. No problem. Thanks for letting me know. I was a little confused for a second. But everything's fine now. Now repeat after me. Actually, I think there's been a mistake. I didn't order this. Oh. No problem. Thanks for letting me know. I was a little confused for a second. But everything's fine now. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear how practical this English is? This isn't textbook English. This is real-life English. The kind you can use at restaurants, hotels, airports, and stores. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about everything you've learned during lunch. Excuse me. I think there's been a mistake. Thanks for letting me know. I was confused. That happened to me once. Looking back. These are incredibly useful phrases. Not because they're advanced. Because they're real. Now it's your turn. Brings you the wrong meal. What would you say? Maybe. Excuse me. I think there's been a mistake. Or, I don't think this is mine. Or, actually, I ordered something different. Excellent. Every sentence you create strengthens your confidence. And confidence is built through repetition. One phrase at a time. One conversation at a time. As lunch finally comes to an end, everyone pushes their plates aside. The food was great. The conversations were even better. Nobody seems eager to leave. Then Emma looks around the table and smiles. You know what we should do next. Immediately, everyone's attention shifts. A new idea is forming. A spontaneous plan. Something completely unplanned. And within a few minutes, the group will find themselves exploring an unfamiliar part of the city, creating new conversations, new experiences, and a whole new set of useful English phrases that native speakers use when making decisions, sharing opinions, and discovering something unexpected together. Lunch is over. The plates have been cleared away. The stories have slowly faded into comfortable conversation. Nobody seems ready to go home. In fact, the energy around the table feels different now. When everyone first met this morning, there was uncertainty. People were polite, careful, a little reserved. Now everything feels easier. The laughter comes naturally. The conversations flow without effort. And that's one of the most enjoyable parts of meeting new people. Eventually, strangers stop feeling like strangers. Emma leans back in her chair and looks around the table. A smile slowly appears on her face. You know what we should do next. Immediately, everyone's attention shifts toward her. Repeat after me. You know what we should do next. Excellent. Again. You know what we should do next. Wonderful. This is a very common conversational phrase. Native speakers use it whenever they're about to suggest an idea. Let's practice. You know what? You know what we should do. You know what would be fun. Excellent. These phrases naturally create curiosity. Now Emma continues. There's an old part of the city a few blocks away. Most tourists never see it. The group immediately becomes interested. One person says, Really? Repeat after me. Really? Excellent. Simple. Natural. Powerful. Many learners underestimate reactions like this. But reactions are the glue that holds conversations together. Let's practice. Really? No way. Seriously. That's interesting. Excellent. Emma nods. Yeah. It's one of my favorite places. Repeat after me. One of my favorite places. Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere. Let's practice. One of my favorite restaurants. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite places. Excellent. Now the group begins discussing the idea. One person says, That sounds fun. Repeat after me. That sounds fun. Excellent. Another says, I'm in. Repeat after me. I'm in. Excellent. Very common. Very natural. It simply means, I want to participate. Let's practice. I'm in. Count me in. Sounds good. I'm in. Excellent. Now everyone looks at each other. Within a few seconds, a decision has been made. No formal planning. No complicated discussion. Just a simple agreement. The group is going exploring. And this introduces one of the most useful parts of conversational English. Making spontaneous decisions. Native speakers do this constantly. Someone suggests an idea. Others react. A plan forms. Let's practice a few common responses. Sounds good. Repeat after me. Sounds good. Excellent. Let's do it. Repeat after me. Let's do it. Wonderful. Why not? Repeat after me. Why not? Excellent. These short responses appear everywhere in daily conversation. Now everyone stands up and begins walking. The afternoon sun is warm. The streets are busy. People are shopping. Street musicians are performing. The city feels alive. As you walk, the conversation continues naturally. One person points toward a bookstore. That place looks interesting. Repeat after me. That place looks interesting. Excellent. Notice how often native speakers comment on what they see. They don't wait for perfect topics. They simply react to the environment. Let's practice. That looks interesting. That looks nice. That looks cool. Excellent. Now Emma points toward a narrow street. Let's go this way. Repeat after me. Let's go this way. Excellent. Another useful phrase. Let's practice. Let's go this way. Let's check it out. Let's take a look. Excellent. Notice the phrasal verb. Check it out. Native speakers use this constantly. Let's practice. You should check it out. Let's check it out. I checked it out yesterday. Excellent. Very common. Very natural. The group turns down the street. Immediately, everything changes. The crowds disappear. The noise fades. The buildings become older. Stone walls line the sidewalks. Small cafes sit hidden between bookstores and art galleries. The atmosphere feels completely different. One person stops and looks around. Wow. I had no idea this was here. Repeat after me. I had no idea this was here. Excellent. Again. I had no idea. Wonderful. This phrase appears constantly when people discover something unexpected. Let's practice. I had no idea. I had no idea that existed. I had no idea it was so close. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase all the time. Now the group continues walking. The conversations become lighter. People point things out. Recommend places. Share opinions. And that's another essential skill in English. Giving opinions naturally. One person points toward a small coffee shop. It looks cozy? Repeat after me. It looks cozy. Excellent. Cozy is a wonderful word. Native speakers use it constantly. A cozy cafe. A cozy apartment. A cozy bookstore. Excellent. Now another person disagrees slightly. Not rudely. Just naturally. They say, I don't know. It looks a little crowded. Repeat after me. It looks a little crowded. Excellent. Notice how native speakers disagree politely. Not. You're wrong. Instead, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. It seems. These phrases soften opinions. Let's practice. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know. Excellent. These expressions make conversations more comfortable. Now let's do a quick shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. That place looks interesting. I've never been there before. Maybe we should check it out. It looks cozy. And I heard the coffee is really good. Now repeat after me. That place looks interesting. I've never been there before. Maybe we should check it out. It looks cozy. And I heard the coffee is really good. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear how simple the language is? This is exactly how native speakers talk when exploring new places. Now the group reaches a small square surrounded by old buildings. In the center is a fountain. People are sitting on benches. Children are playing nearby. The atmosphere feels peaceful. Emma smiles. This is my favorite part of the city. Repeat after me. This is my favorite part of the city. Excellent. One person nods immediately. I can see why. Repeat after me. I can see why. Excellent. Again. I can see why. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely useful. Let's practice. I can see why people like it. I can see why you're excited. I can see why it's popular. Excellent. Native speakers use this constantly. Now something interesting happens. The group stops moving. Not because they're tired. Because everyone is enjoying the moment. People take photos, look around, talk quietly. And without realizing it, English has become easier. Not because the vocabulary changed, not because the grammar became simpler, because the focus shifted. Nobody is thinking about English. Everyone is thinking about the experience. That's one of the biggest secrets to fluency. The moment you focus on communication instead of perfection, language begins to flow more naturally. Now imagine you're standing there with the group, looking around, enjoying the afternoon. Someone asks, "What do you think?" Repeat after me. What do you think? Excellent. One of the most common questions in English. How would you answer? Maybe. I like it. Maybe. It's beautiful. Maybe. I can see why people love this place. Excellent. Every sentence you create strengthens your confidence. And confidence grows through use. Not memorization. Use. Now the afternoon continues. The group leaves the square and begins walking deeper into the old neighborhood. The streets become narrower. The buildings become older. The conversations continue. Then suddenly, something unexpected happens. You realize nobody is completely sure where they are anymore. Emma stops walking, looks around, then laughs. I think we're lost. Immediately, everyone starts laughing. But hidden inside this small problem is one of the most useful real-life English situations you'll ever practice. Asking for directions. And that's exactly where the next conversation begins. The group stands in the middle of the old neighborhood. For a moment, nobody says anything. Everyone looks around. The narrow streets twist in different directions. The old buildings all look similar. The small cafes seem familiar. Maybe too familiar. Emma slowly turns in a circle. Then laughs. I think we're lost. The entire group laughs. Not because it's a serious problem. Because everyone was secretly thinking the same thing. Repeat after me. I think we're lost. Excellent. Again. I think we're lost. Wonderful. This is one of the most useful travel phrases you'll ever learn. Let's practice. We're lost. I think we're lost. I have no idea where we are. Excellent. Native speakers use these phrases all the time while traveling. Now one person pulls out their phone. The screen loads. Then freezes. Then loads again. Then freezes again. They sigh. I don't think my map is working. Repeat after me. I don't think my map is working. Excellent. Very natural. Very realistic. Technology doesn't always cooperate. Another person laughs. Perfect timing. Repeat after me. Perfect timing. Excellent. Native speakers often use this phrase sarcastically. Something goes wrong at exactly the wrong moment. Perfect timing. Let's practice. Perfect timing. Just what we needed. Couldn't have happened at a worse time. Excellent. Everyone laughs again. The mood stays light. Nobody is worried. In fact, getting lost has made the day more interesting. And that's often true. The unexpected moments become the memorable ones. Emma points toward a small park across the street. A man is sitting on a bench reading a newspaper. She smiles. Let's ask him. Repeat after me. Let's ask him. Excellent. This introduces one of the most practical English skills of all. Asking for directions. Many learners worry about this. But the good news is that direction conversations are often very predictable. Once you know the patterns, they're surprisingly easy. The group walks over. Emma smiles politely. Excuse me. Repeat after me. Excuse me. Excellent. Again. Excuse me. Wonderful. One of the most important phrases in English. You can use it almost anywhere. To ask a question. To get someone's attention. To be polite. Now the man looks up and smiles. Yes. Emma continues. Could you help us? Repeat after me. Could you help us? Excellent. Again. Could you help us? Wonderful. This phrase is extremely useful. Let's practice. Could you help me? Could you help us? Could you give me a hand? Excellent. Native speakers often use could instead of can, because it sounds slightly softer and more polite. Now Emma explains. We're looking for the old harbor. Repeat after me. We're looking for the old harbor. Excellent. This pattern is everywhere. Let's practice. We're looking for the train station. We're looking for a cafe. We're looking for the museum. Excellent. Very practical English. Now the man smiles. Oh. You're not far. Immediately. Everyone feels relieved. Repeat after me. You're not far. Excellent. This is something travelers love hearing. Let's practice. It's not far. You're almost there. It's just around the corner. Excellent. Now the man begins, explaining. Go straight for 2 blocks. Repeat after me. Go straight. Excellent. One of the most important direction phrases in English. Let's practice. Go straight. Keep going straight. Just go straight ahead. Excellent. The man continues. Then turn left at the bookstore. Repeat after me. Turn left. Excellent. Turn right. Excellent. Native speakers use these constantly. Let's practice. Turn left. Turn right. Take the next left. Take the next right. Excellent. Simple. Practical. Useful. Now everyone listens carefully, trying to remember the directions. The man continues. You'll see a church on your right. Repeat after me. You'll see a church on your right. Excellent. Direction conversations often include landmarks. Let's practice. You'll see a cafe. You'll see a park. You'll see a large building. Excellent. Now the man finishes. You can't miss it. Repeat after me. You can't miss it. Excellent. Again. You can't miss it. Wonderful. This is a very common native expression. It means, it's easy to find. Let's practice. You can't miss it. You'll find it easily. It's right there. Excellent. The group smiles. Everyone thanks him. Thank you so much. Repeat after me. Thank you so much. Excellent. The man nods. No problem. Repeat after me. No problem. Wonderful. Again. One of the most common responses in English. Now the group starts walking again, following the directions. The atmosphere feels relaxed. People are chatting, laughing, repeating the instructions to make sure nobody forgets. Emma says, Okay. Straight ahead, then left. Repeat after me. Straight ahead, then left. Excellent. One person laughs. I already forgot. Everyone laughs again. Repeat after me. I already forgot. Excellent. This is something native speakers say constantly. Let's practice. I forgot. I already forgot. I completely forgot. Excellent. Now the group continues walking. And something interesting happens. Because they're paying attention to directions. They begin noticing more of the city. The details. The architecture. The hidden cafes. The little bookstores. The colorful balconies. Sometimes getting lost forces you to slow down. And slowing down helps you notice things. One person suddenly points toward a small bakery. That place looks amazing. Repeat after me. That place looks amazing. Excellent. Another person says, we should come back later. Repeat after me. We should come back later. Wonderful. This is a very natural phrase. Let's practice. We should come back. Let's come back later. I'd like to come back someday. Excellent. Now let's do a shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. Excuse me. Could you help us? We're looking for the old harbor. Oh. That's easy. Go straight for 2 blocks. Then turn left at the bookstore. You'll see a church on your right. You can't miss it. Now repeat after me. Excuse me. Could you help us? We're looking for the old harbor. Oh. That's easy. Go straight for 2 blocks. Then turn left at the bookstore. You'll see a church on your right. You can't miss it. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear how useful that conversation is? You could use those exact phrases almost anywhere in the English-speaking world. Now the group reaches the bookstore. Everyone immediately becomes excited. The directions were right. Repeat after me. The directions were right. Excellent. A simple phrase, but satisfying. Now they turn left. Just like the man said. A few minutes later, the street opens up. And suddenly, everyone stops walking. The view is incredible. The old harbor stretches across the water. Boats gently move in the afternoon sunlight. People sit along the waterfront. Musicians perform nearby. The entire area feels alive. One person whispers, "Wow." Repeat after me. Wow. Excellent. Another person says, "This was worth it." Repeat after me. This was worth it. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase when something was worth the effort. Let's practice. It was worth it. The trip was worth it. The wait was worth it. Excellent. Now the group begins exploring the harbor. The stress of being lost is gone. In fact, nobody is even thinking about it anymore. Because sometimes, getting lost leads you exactly where you need to go. As everyone walks along the waterfront, taking photos and enjoying the view, a friendly local sitting near the harbor notices the group. They smile, wave, and a simple question from that stranger is about to begin one of the most natural and meaningful conversations of the entire day. A conversation about travel, life, and the city itself. And that's where the next chapter begins. The group slowly walks along the harbor. The afternoon sun reflects across the water. Small boats move gently with the waves. People sit on benches, enjoying the view. Street musicians play soft music nearby. The atmosphere feels peaceful. For a few moments, nobody says much. Everyone is simply enjoying the scene. Sometimes silence isn't awkward. Sometimes silence means people are comfortable. And that's something many English learners don't realize. Native speakers don't constantly talk. Sometimes they simply enjoy the moment. Emma takes a photo of the harbor. One of the others sits down on a nearby bench. You look out across the water and take a deep breath. The entire day feels different from what you expected. You woke up thinking it would be an ordinary Saturday. Now you're standing in a beautiful part of the city with people you didn't even know this morning. Life can be funny that way. Then something unexpected happens. A man sitting on a nearby bench looks over and smiles. He seems friendly, relaxed, comfortable. After a moment, he asks a simple question. Are you all visiting? Immediately, everyone's attention shifts. Repeat after me. Are you all visiting? Excellent. Again. Are you all visiting? Wonderful. This is a very common conversation starter, especially in places that attract travelers. Now, Emma smiles. Some of us are. The man nods, then asks another simple question. Where are you from? Repeat after me. Where are you from? Excellent. One of the most common questions in English. Let's practice. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Have you always lived here? Excellent. The group begins answering. One person grew up nearby. Another moved here recently. Someone else came from another city. The conversation feels natural, easy, comfortable. Then the man smiles and says, So, what do you think of the harbor? Repeat after me. What do you think of the harbor? Excellent. Notice how often native speakers ask for opinions. Let's practice. What do you think? What do you think of this place? What do you think so far? Excellent. Opinion questions keep conversations moving. Now, imagine your answer. It's beautiful. Repeat after me. It's beautiful. Excellent. Or, maybe, I wasn't expecting it to be this nice. Repeat after me. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice. Wonderful. Native speakers love expressing pleasant surprises. Now the man laughs. Most people say that. Repeat after me. Most people say that. Excellent. The conversation continues naturally. Then he asks, What do you like most about it? Repeat after me. What do you like most about it? Excellent. This is a fantastic question, because it encourages longer answers. You think for a moment. Then say, I like how peaceful it feels. Repeat after me. I like how peaceful it feels. Excellent. Again. I like how peaceful it feels. Wonderful. Notice the structure. I like how. Let's practice. I like how friendly everyone is. I like how relaxed it feels. I like how easy it is to walk around. Excellent. This pattern appears constantly in natural English. Now the man nods. That's exactly why I come here. Repeat after me. That's exactly why I come here. Excellent. Again. That's exactly why. Wonderful. A useful pattern. Let's practice. That's exactly why I moved here. That's exactly why I love this city. That's exactly why people visit. Excellent. The conversation begins flowing more naturally. Nobody is forcing anything. Nobody is trying to impress anyone. People are simply sharing thoughts. And that's one of the biggest secrets to conversational English. Good conversations aren't performances. They're exchanges. Now the man points toward the water. I've lived here my whole life. Repeat after me. I've lived here my whole life. Excellent. Then he smiles. And I still come down here every week. Repeat after me. I still come here every week. Wonderful. This is a useful conversational structure. Let's practice. I still visit my hometown. I still talk to those friends. I still enjoy it. Excellent. Now Emma becomes curious. She asks, What do you like most about living here? Repeat after me. What do you like most about living here? Excellent. A great conversation question. The man thinks for a moment, then smiles. Honestly. The people. Repeat after me. The people. Excellent. Then he continues. People actually talk to each other here. Repeat after me. People actually talk to each other here. Wonderful. This sparks an interesting discussion. Because many people feel that modern life has become very busy. Very fast. Sometimes too fast. The man says. Most people are in a hurry these days. Repeat after me. Most people are in a hurry these days. Excellent. A very natural observation. Let's practice. Everyone seems busy. People are always rushing. Most people are in a hurry. Excellent. Now one of your new friends nods. I know what you mean. Repeat after me. I know what you mean. Excellent. Again. I know what you mean. Wonderful. A phrase you've heard many times throughout this journey. Because that's how real English works. Useful phrases, repeat. Now the conversation shifts slightly. The man asks. So, what brought all of you here today? Repeat after me. What brought you here today? Excellent. This is similar to what brings you here? Native speakers often alternate between the two. Emma laughs. Honestly. It started with a workshop. The man smiles. A workshop. Repeat after me. A workshop. Excellent. The group begins explaining the day. The market. The class. The lunch. Getting lost. Finding the harbor. The entire story. The man listens carefully. Then laughs. Sounds like quite a day. Repeat after me. Quite a day. Excellent. Again. Quite a day. Wonderful. Native speakers often use quite to add emphasis. Let's practice. Quite a story. Quite a trip. Quite a day. Excellent. Then the man suddenly smiles. You know what? Repeat after me. You know what? Excellent. The group waits. The man continues. That reminds me of something. Immediately. Curiosity appears. Repeat after me. That reminds me of something. Excellent. This phrase often signals a story. And stories naturally capture attention. The man leans back slightly. Then begins. When I was about your age, something very similar happened to me. Everyone becomes interested. The man continues. A friend invited me on what was supposed to be a simple afternoon trip. Repeat after me. Supposed to be. Excellent. Again. It was supposed to be simple. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Let's practice. It was supposed to rain. The meeting was supposed to start at 10. We were supposed to leave early. Excellent. Now the man continues. But things didn't go quite as planned. Immediately. Curiosity grows. Repeat after me. Things didn't go quite as planned. Excellent. Again. Didn't go according to plan. Wonderful. The group listens closely. The harbor. The sunlight. The atmosphere. Everything seems to slow down. The man smiles. Then says 5 words that instantly grab everyone's attention. You're not going to believe this. Repeat after me. You're not going to believe this. Excellent. Again. You're not going to believe this. Wonderful. The entire group laughs. Because everyone recognizes what that phrase means. A story is coming. A good story. Maybe a funny one. Maybe an unbelievable one. But definitely a story worth hearing. Now everyone leans in slightly. Waiting. Curious. Interested. Ready to listen. And without realizing it, You're about to learn one of the most useful English skills of all. How native speakers tell stories that keep people listening. Stories filled with curiosity, surprise, humor, and simple conversational English. The man takes a deep breath, looks out at the harbor, smiles, and begins the story that nobody expected to hear. The entire group leans forward slightly. The harbor is quiet around you. The sound of the water gently fills the pauses between words. The man smiles, then begins. When I was 23, a friend called me on a Saturday morning. Repeat after me. A friend called me on a Saturday morning. Excellent. Simple. Natural. This is how many stories begin. The man continues. He asked if I wanted to go on a short road trip. Repeat after me. A short road trip. Excellent. Road trip is a very common phrase. Let's practice. We're going on a road trip. I love road trips. Have you ever been on a road trip? Excellent. The man laughs softly. At the time, I almost said no. Immediately, a few people react. Really? Repeat after me. Really? Excellent. The man nods. I was tired. I had work the next day. I wasn't in the mood. Repeat after me. I wasn't in the mood. Excellent. Again. I wasn't in the mood. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. I'm not in the mood. I wasn't in the mood. She's not in the mood. Excellent. The man continues. But something told me to go. Repeat after me. Something told me to go. Excellent. This phrase is common when people describe intuition, a feeling, a hunch. Now everyone listens carefully. The story is becoming more interesting. The man smiles. So, I said yes. Repeat after me. So, I said yes. Excellent. Sometimes small decisions change everything. And native speakers often tell stories this way. Small choice. Unexpected result. The man points toward the water. We drove for about 3 hours. Repeat after me. We drove for about 3 hours. Excellent. Then he says. And honestly, nothing went according to plan. Immediately everyone laughs. Repeat after me. Nothing went according to plan. Excellent. Again. Nothing went according to plan. Wonderful. A phrase you've already practiced before. Because real English repeats. Useful language comes back again and again. Now the man continues. The car broke down. A few people react immediately. Oh no. Repeat after me. Oh no. Excellent. A very common reaction. The man laughs. Yeah. That's what we said. Everyone smiles. The story continues. We were in the middle of nowhere. Repeat after me. In the middle of nowhere. Excellent. Again. In the middle of nowhere. Wonderful. This is a fantastic English expression. It means a very remote place, far from everything. Let's practice. The cabin was in the middle of nowhere. We got lost in the middle of nowhere. Excellent. The man continues. There was no signal. Repeat after me. There was no signal. Excellent. No phone signal. No internet. Nothing. The situation sounds difficult. But somehow, the man keeps smiling. Which makes everyone curious. Why is he smiling? Then he explains. We ended up meeting the nicest people. Repeat after me. We ended up meeting the nicest people. Excellent. Notice the phrase. Ended up. Very common. Let's practice. We ended up staying longer. I ended up going. They ended up becoming friends. Excellent. Native speakers use ended up constantly when describing unexpected outcomes. Now the man continues. A local family invited us into their home. The group becomes even more interested. The story feels warm now. Human. The man says. They gave us food? Repeat after me. They gave us food. Excellent. They helped us call a mechanic. Repeat after me. They helped us. Excellent. And they treated us like family. Repeat after me. They treated us like family. Wonderful. The harbor feels even quieter now. Everyone is listening. Not because the story is dramatic. Because it's relatable. It's about kindness. Unexpected kindness. The kind of thing people remember. The man pauses. Then says, I still talk to them today. Immediately. Everyone smiles. Repeat after me. I still talk to them today. Excellent. Again. I still talk to them today. Wonderful. A simple sentence. But a powerful one. Now Emma asks. Seriously? Repeat after me. Seriously? Excellent. The man nods. Every few months. Then he smiles. We've been friends for over 20 years. Repeat after me. We've been friends for over 20 years. Excellent. Notice the emotional shift. The story started with problems. A broken car. Being stranded. No signal. But it transformed into something positive. A friendship. A memory. A life lesson. That's one reason stories are so powerful. Problems create attention. Solutions create satisfaction. The man looks out toward the harbor. Then says something that makes everyone think. If the car hadn't broken down, I never would have met them. Repeat after me. I never would have met them. Excellent. Again. I never would have met them. Wonderful. This idea resonates with everyone. Because many people have experienced something similar. Something that seemed bad at first. But later turned out to be valuable. Now one person in the group says. Funny how life works sometimes. Repeat after me. Funny how life works sometimes. Excellent. A very natural phrase. Let's practice. Funny how things work out. Funny how life works. Excellent. The man smiles. Exactly. Repeat after me. Exactly. Excellent. One word. Very common. Very natural. Now the conversation slowly shifts. Not away from the story. Toward its meaning. Emma asks. Do you ever think about what would have happened if you stayed home that day? Repeat after me. Do you ever think about it? Excellent. The man laughs. Sometimes. Then he adds. But not very often. Repeat after me. Not very often. Excellent. He pauses. Then says something simple. Something that feels important. I'm glad I went. Repeat after me. I'm glad I went. Excellent. Again. I'm glad I went. Wonderful. This phrase appears constantly in English. Let's practice. I'm glad I came. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad I tried it. Excellent. Native speakers often use glad when reflecting on experiences. Now, let's do a shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. At first, I almost stayed home. I was tired. And I wasn't in the mood to travel. But I'm glad I went. If I hadn't gone, I never would have met those people. And one of the best friendships of my life never would have happened. Now repeat after me. At first, I almost stayed home. I was tired. And I wasn't in the mood to travel. But I'm glad I went. If I hadn't gone, I never would have met those people. And one of the best friendships of my life never would have happened. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear how conversational that sounds? Not complicated. Not academic. Just human. Now the sun begins moving lower in the sky. The harbor starts changing colors. Golden light reflects across the water. The atmosphere becomes softer. More reflective. The group grows quieter. Not because anyone is bored. Because everyone is thinking. Thinking about opportunities. Choices. Coincidences. The unexpected paths life sometimes takes. The man stands up from the bench. He smiles warmly. It was nice talking to all of you. Repeat after me. It was nice talking to all of you. Excellent. A very useful social phrase. Let's practice. It was nice meeting you. It was nice talking to you. It was great seeing you. Excellent. Everyone thanks him. The conversation ends naturally. But the story stays with you. Because sometimes, the most memorable lessons come from unexpected people. As the man walks away, the group turns back toward the water. Nobody says much for a moment. Then Emma breaks the silence. You know what? Repeat after me. You know what? Excellent. I think he's right. Everyone looks at her. She smiles. Sometimes, the best things happen when plans fall apart. The group nods. Because after today's workshop, lunch, wrong turns, getting lost, and unexpected conversations, it's hard to disagree. The sun continues sinking toward the horizon. The sky slowly turns orange. And without realizing it, the day is moving into its final chapter. A quieter chapter. A more reflective chapter. A conversation about goals, growth, and the future. And that conversation begins as everyone sits together, watching the sunset over the harbor. The sun slowly sinks toward the horizon. The harbor glows with shades of gold, orange, and soft pink. The water reflects the evening light like a mirror. Boats drift quietly in the distance. The conversations around the harbor become softer, slower, more reflective. Your group finds a row of empty benches facing the water. Nobody seems eager to leave. The day has unfolded in ways nobody expected. A quiet morning coffee turned into a market visit. The market became a workshop. The workshop became lunch. Lunch became an adventure through the city. And that adventure led to conversations with complete strangers. Sometimes the best days are the ones that were never planned. For a few moments, everyone simply watches the sunset. Then, Emma breaks the silence. You know what's funny? Repeat after me. You know what's funny? Excellent. Again. You know what's funny? Wonderful. Native speakers often begin reflections this way. Not because something is actually funny, but because they've noticed something interesting. Emma smiles. This morning, none of us knew each other. The group laughs softly. Because it's true. Repeat after me. None of us knew each other. Excellent. A useful phrase. Let's practice. None of us knew. None of us expected this. None of us saw that coming. Excellent. Now, Emma continues. And now we've spent an entire day together. Repeat after me. We've spent an entire day together. Excellent. The realization makes everyone smile. It's amazing how quickly people can connect. Sometimes all it takes is a few conversations, a few shared experiences, a few unexpected moments. One person nods and says, "It doesn't feel like we just met." Repeat after me. It doesn't feel like we just met. Excellent. Again. It doesn't feel like we just met. Wonderful. This is a very natural observation. Let's practice. It feels familiar. It doesn't feel strange. It feels like we've known each other longer. Excellent. The conversation grows deeper. Not serious. Not heavy. Just thoughtful. The kind of conversation people have when they're relaxed. Comfortable. Present. One of the others looks out toward the water. Then asks, "If you could live anywhere, where would it be?" Repeat after me. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Excellent. This is a common conversational question. Not because people expect a perfect answer, but because it reveals something about a person. The group begins answering. One person wants to live near the ocean. Another dreams of living in a mountain town. Someone else says they would love to live somewhere with warm weather all year. Now imagine your answer. You smile and say, "I'd probably live somewhere peaceful." Repeat after me. I'd probably live somewhere peaceful. Excellent. Again. I'd probably live somewhere peaceful. Wonderful. Notice the word probably. Native speakers use it constantly. Let's practice. I'd probably stay here. I'd probably choose the beach. I'd probably do the same thing. Excellent. Very natural. Now another person asks, "What would you do if you didn't have to work?" Immediately. Everyone laughs. Repeat after me. What would you do if you didn't have to work? Excellent. A classic conversation question. One person answers immediately. I'd travel. Repeat after me. I'd travel. Excellent. Another says, I'd learn new things. Repeat after me. I'd learn new things. Wonderful. A third person laughs. I'd sleep for about a month. The group bursts into laughter. Repeat after me. I'd sleep for about a month. Excellent. Humor keeps conversations alive. And native speakers often use exaggeration for humor. Not because they mean it literally. Because it's entertaining. Now Emma looks toward you. What about you? Repeat after me. What about you? Excellent. One of the most useful conversational phrases in English. Let's practice. What about you? How about you? What do you think? Excellent. Now imagine your answer. Maybe you say, I think I'd spend more time learning. Repeat after me. I'd spend more time learning. Excellent. Or perhaps, I'd travel and meet new people. Repeat after me. I'd travel and meet new people. Wonderful. There are no wrong answers. The purpose is conversation. Connection. Sharing ideas. Now the sky becomes even darker. The first lights begin appearing around the harbor. Restaurants switch on their signs. Street lamps illuminate the walkways. The atmosphere becomes even more beautiful. One person quietly says, This is a perfect evening. Repeat after me. This is a perfect evening. Excellent. A simple sentence. But sometimes, simple sentences are the most powerful. Now another person nods. Yeah. I needed this. Repeat after me. I needed this. Excellent. Again. I needed this. Wonderful. Native speakers often say this. After meaningful experiences. A good conversation. A vacation. A relaxing day. A moment of peace. Let's practice. I needed this. I really needed this. I didn't realize how much I needed this. Excellent. Now the conversation naturally shifts toward goals. Not because anyone planned it. Because evenings often make people reflective. One person asks, "What's something you've always wanted to do?" Repeat after me. What's something you've always wanted to do? Excellent. This question instantly creates interesting conversations. The answers reveal dreams, goals, curiosities. One person says, "I've always wanted to learn another language." Repeat after me. I've always wanted to learn another language. Excellent. Another says, "I've always wanted to write a book." Repeat after me. I've always wanted to write a book. Wonderful. Now it's your turn. Think about your own answer. Maybe. I've always wanted to travel more. Maybe. I've always wanted to start a business. Maybe. I've always wanted to speak English fluently. Excellent. Every answer tells a story. Now, let's do a shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. I've always wanted to travel more. There are so many places I'd like to visit, and so many people I'd like to meet. I think traveling helps you see the world differently. Now repeat after me. I've always wanted to travel more. There are so many places I'd like to visit, and so many people I'd like to meet. I think traveling helps you see the world differently. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you hear the rhythm? This is how native speakers talk about dreams and goals. Simple language. Personal thoughts. Real feelings. Now the conversation continues. One person asks another question. What are you working on these days? Repeat after me. What are you working on these days? Excellent. This is another common way to ask about someone's current focus. Let's practice. What are you working on? What have you been focusing on? What's keeping you busy lately? Excellent. The answers vary. Work projects, fitness goals, creative hobbies, personal growth. And as everyone speaks, a pattern begins to emerge. Nobody has everything figured out. Everyone is still learning, still growing, still trying. And somehow, that's comforting. One person smiles and says, "I think we're all just figuring things out." Repeat after me. We're all just figuring things out. Excellent. Again. We're all just figuring things out. Wonderful. The entire group nods. Because everyone understands exactly what that means. Life isn't a finished project. It's a process. A journey. And the same thing is true with language learning. You don't wake up one day and suddenly know everything. You improve little by little. Conversation by conversation. Day by day. The harbor lights shimmer across the water. The evening air feels cool now. The group sits quietly for a moment. Enjoying the view. Enjoying the company. Enjoying the feeling that comes from a day well spent. Then Emma smiles. You know what? Repeat after me. You know what? Excellent. I think this is going to be one of those days we remember. Everyone smiles. Because, deep down, they know she's right. And as the night settles over the harbor, the group slowly stands up and begins walking toward dinner, where one final conversation will bring together everything they've learned, experienced, and shared throughout this unforgettable day. The group slowly leaves the harbor. The sky is now dark. The last traces of orange sunlight have disappeared beyond the horizon. Streetlights illuminate the sidewalks. The reflections on the water shimmer like tiny stars. The city feels different at night. Calmer. softer, more reflective. Nobody is rushing anymore. The excitement of the afternoon has settled into something quieter, something warmer. As everyone walks toward dinner, the conversations become slower and more thoughtful. Sometimes, the best part of a day isn't the beginning. It's the ending. The moment when you finally have time to appreciate everything that happened. A few minutes later, the group arrives at a small restaurant overlooking the water. The atmosphere is cozy. Soft music plays in the background. Warm lights hang from the ceiling. The restaurant isn't crowded, just busy enough to feel alive. Everyone sits down around a large table. Menus are opened. Drinks are ordered. But unlike lunch, nobody seems focused on the food. They're focused on the conversation, on the memories, on the day itself. Emma smiles and looks around the table. I can't believe everything that happened today. Repeat after me. I can't believe everything that happened today. Excellent. Again. I can't believe it. Wonderful. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it when reflecting on surprising experiences. Let's practice. I can't believe it. I can't believe how fast the day went. I can't believe we're already here. Excellent. Now one of the others laughs. It feels like 3 different days. Repeat after me. It feels like 3 different days. Excellent. A very natural expression. Sometimes a day feels long in the best possible way. Now someone asks, what was your favorite part? Repeat after me. What was your favorite part? Excellent. One of the most useful conversation questions in English. Let's practice. What was your favorite part? What did you enjoy most? What stood out to you? Excellent. Native speakers often use questions like these when reflecting on experiences. Now the answers begin. One person loved the workshop. Another loved the market. Someone else loved getting lost in the old neighborhood. Everyone laughs at that. Because getting lost unexpectedly became one of the best parts of the day. Emma smiles. Honestly, I think meeting new people was my favorite part. Repeat after me. Meeting new people was my favorite part. Excellent. Again. My favorite part was wonderful. This pattern is incredibly useful. Let's practice. My favorite part was the conversation. My favorite part was the harbor. My favorite part was spending time together. Excellent. Now, imagine your own answer. Think for a moment. What would your favorite part have been? The coffee shop. The market. The workshop. The harbor. Take a moment. Create one simple sentence. Excellent. Every sentence you create helps English become more natural. Now, the server arrives with drinks. The conversation pauses briefly. Then continues. One of the people at the table asks a question that changes the mood slightly. Not in a sad way. In a meaningful way. They ask, what did you learn today? Repeat after me. What did you learn today? Excellent. The table becomes quieter. People think. Not because the question is difficult. Because it's interesting. The answers begin slowly. One person says, I learned that I should try new things more often. Repeat after me. I should try new things more often. Excellent. Another person says, I learned that talking to strangers isn't as scary as I thought. Repeat after me. It's not as scary as I thought. Wonderful. A very useful phrase. Let's practice. It's not as difficult as I thought. It's not as expensive as I thought. It's not as scary as I thought. Excellent. Now Emma smiles. I learned that some of the best experiences are unplanned. Repeat after me. Some of the best experiences are unplanned. Excellent. Again. The best things aren't always planned. Wonderful. The entire group nods. Because today's story proves it. Nothing happened according to plan. And somehow, everything worked out perfectly. Now let's pause for a reflection exercise. Think about today's journey. You started your morning at a bakery. You practiced greetings. Morning. How's it going? I could use some coffee. Then you met friends at the market. You practiced small talk. How's everything going? Can't complain. Been busy lately. Then you joined a workshop. You introduced yourself. Nice to meet everyone. This is my first time here. I've always wanted to try something like this. Then came lunch. Stories. Laughter. Unexpected mistakes. I think there's been a mistake. Thanks for letting me know. That reminds me of something. Then you explored the city. You shared opinions. That looks interesting. Let's check it out. I had no idea this was here. Then you got lost. You practiced travel English. Could you help us? We're looking for. Go straight. Turn left. You can't miss it. Then you met a local. You practiced conversation. Where are you from? What do you think of this place? I like how peaceful it feels. Then you listened to stories. Stories about mistakes. Friendship. Unexpected opportunities. And finally, you reflected on life. Goals. Dreams. Growth. All through English. Real English. Useful English. Human English. Not textbook English. Living English. Now let's do one final shadowing exercise. Listen carefully. Today reminded me that life doesn't always go according to plan. And that's okay. Sometimes, the best conversations, the best experiences, and the best memories happen when we least expect them. Now, repeat after me. Today reminded me that life doesn't always go according to plan. And that's okay. Sometimes, the best conversations, the best experiences, and the best memories happen when we least expect them. Excellent. Again. More naturally. Wonderful. Can you feel the rhythm? Can you feel how natural the language has become? Not because the sentences are difficult, because they're meaningful. Now dinner continues. People share a few final stories. A few final laughs. The evening feels complete. Eventually the plates are cleared away. The drinks are finished. The restaurant begins to empty. One by one. People start preparing to leave. Phone numbers are exchanged. Plans are made. Promises to stay in touch. And then comes one of the most common phrases in English. We should do this again sometime. Repeat after me. We should do this again sometime. Excellent. Again. We should do this again sometime. Wonderful. Native speakers use this phrase constantly when ending positive experiences. Let's practice. Let's do this again. We should meet up again. Let's stay in touch. Excellent. Now people begin saying goodbye. It was nice meeting you. Repeat after me. It was nice meeting you. Excellent. Great seeing you. Repeat after me. Great seeing you. Wonderful. Take care. Repeat after me. Take care. Excellent. These simple phrases appear at the end of thousands of conversations every day. And now the evening finally comes to an end. You walk back through the quiet streets. The city feels peaceful. The air feels cool. Your footsteps echo softly along the sidewalk. For a moment, you think about everything that happened. The people. The conversations. The unexpected moments, the laughter, the lessons. And then you realize something important. You weren't studying English today. You were living in English, thinking in English, experiencing English. And that's the real goal. Not memorizing vocabulary lists, not translating every sentence, but reaching the point where English becomes part of your life. One conversation at a time, one phrase at a time, one day at a time. So, before we finish, I'd like you to think about one simple question. How would you describe your day today in English? Just one sentence. Maybe, it was a good day. Maybe, I learned something new. Maybe, I'm glad I tried. Whatever your sentence is, say it quietly. Right now. Excellent. Because every sentence you create is another step toward fluency. Thank you for spending this day with me. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep speaking. And most importantly, keep believing in your progress. You're doing better than you think. And with every conversation, you're becoming more confident, more comfortable, and more natural in English. Until next time, take care, keep learning, and keep enjoying the journey.